Hey, welcome to the Closing Beat, everybody. Happy Thursday, Wednesday, October, Wednesday. Happy Wednesday. How you doing out there? It's the last day of September. Jeez. Okay, I'm with you now. I'm sharp. I'm ready to go. Hey, this is the Closing Beat Stock Market Update show that we do all the time. It's a lot of fun there. We're financial advisors here at Jazz Wealth. If we help you in some way, or you find that you like that we're just teaching and we're out there sort of always reaching out to our customers and you guys, well, I hope you'll check us out at jazzwealth.com. You can transfer your IRA, Roth IRAs, if you need to do a rollover, a COVID rollover, all those things we help with. And of course, anything that touches your dough, we're happy to help with and try to plan through, strategize. We even do help with a little bit of trading. If you like doing that outside trading there somewhere else, happy to help you with that. We have a new thing coming up, and I'm going to go outside of what I'm supposed to do here. I'm just going to show you. Check it out. We got a new feature coming up for our customers here. Notes from Jazz. We're going to have our own little portal in the dojo, we call it, where you'll be able to click on the latest Notes from Jazz. Here's our latest one from this weekend, where it's archived, really. So you can, instead of getting the email, if you're one of our customers or research members, you can actually check that out there. That will be coming out next week, right? So we're just putting the final touches on it. We want to have multiple Notes from Jazz in there, so we'll be coming out with that and issuing that here real soon. Also, Guess the Dow is back. Yeah. What's up with that? Come on, take your guess. Where do you want to think the Dow is going to close next week? If you're the closest without going over, we'll send you a $100 gift card, or if you're one of our customers, we'll give you $100. We can credit it to your account if you'd like. There's no taxes, or it doesn't count towards your contributions if you have a Roth IRA with us. Let's talk about the stock market. You got a slight gain on the day. Is that good? Is the fact that the markets were higher today, is it a good thing? Do you feel better about what happened? Or do you feel like, oh man, come on, we did so good and now we're backing off those highs a little bit? A lot of excitement around the idea that Democrats and Republicans are now getting together, surprisingly around election season, to come up with a new stimulus plan there. But Mitch McConnell came out and said, hey, we're still really far apart. We knew that from yesterday, but he came out and actually said it. And so because of that, the stock market actually floated back lower. I want to show you something here interesting. This is now the third time we've tried to get above the 50-day moving average here on the S&P. That's not a good sign. Technical traders, algorithms, and the like will look at that and say, darn it, we should have closed above there. We faded away. Not a good sign for the bulls there in the real short term. That's kind of what I'm pointing out there. It was a decent day otherwise for the S&P 500. The gains were largely due to tech and healthcare for the most part. Your biggest gainer there, you had Duke Energy, got some buyout news coming up, or that came out, so we'll talk about that a little bit later. The S&P is now higher by 6% year to date, but did have a loss of 3.5% through the month of September. No surprise, because at the beginning of September, I went over some data with you to kind of actually show how the markets are weaker in September. So the stats played out almost perfectly, a little bit above average actually. So looking good there. If we go over to the Dow, we'll go over to the Dow there. This was the best performer today, also thanks to healthcare as well. You got United Healthcare, great bounce off the 200-day. Every day it pulled back. I kept saying, man, I like that United Healthcare pullback. I like that United Healthcare pullback. That's the best I can do. I'm not allowed to make stock suggestions here on this channel, of course, but that was one of the supporters here today. You can look at Amgen as well. Great day for that stock, up 2.3% on the day. Biggest contributors to the Dow performance today. Home Depot, also a good one. You got Salesforce in there. And to throw a financial, you got Goldman Sachs. A little back to the 200-day moving average. Some of the other bigger supporters today. The Dow itself has less than 1% to go to get back to positive year to date, but for September it lost 2%, as is typical for the Dow, so no big problem there through the month of September. If we take a look over at the NASDAQ, there was led higher today by tech as usual. It is above its 50-day moving average, but consumer discretionary stood out as kind of an interesting area today, second best performer. One of the reasons is Ross Stores up 2.5% today. You buy discount clothes there, and they did well. Also in healthcare space, land, whatever, you got Dexcom moving a little bit higher on the day, and then Intuitive Surgical was the other one, if I remember right. I hope so. Yeah, there we go. 2.4% higher above the 50-day moving average. Now up 31%. I should say the NASDAQ up 31% year to date. It did lose 5.5% in September. So all three major indices posting a down move there for the month of September. That's guess the Dow. Yay. If you want to check out our FinTips videos, bottom right-hand corner of your page there, you'll see 4 reasons to invest and then a couple reasons not to if you're interested. Year-end tax strategies came out today if you look on our YouTube channel. And on Friday, we'll do just a fun short one. What if you owe the IRS a lot of money? What are your ideas there? What can you do? What plans do they have that you could participate in? And I don't mean just simply making payments and figuring that out there. Our Wine and Wealth class tomorrow is going to be on how active traders can sort of trade this market in the short term while you're expecting more volatility. That's my background is teaching traders all around the world, so I realize that a lot of our customers are trading their accounts elsewhere and having a good time with that. We manage retirement, but I still want to help you with that if I can help you be a little bit more successful. And also, we have a lot of great trading plan videos in our Wine and Wealth video library as well, so check that out. On our research site, if you can't be a customer of Jazz and you just kind of want to learn and be taught and still have access to the research, take a look at some of the posts we have coming up here. You got October performance. We actually broke down all the stocks that do well and actually do poorly through the month of October, so you can see the stats on all your favorite stocks there that you may happen to own. We've got sector performance that just got posted today from Cody. A real kind of a quick one to break down the sectors, how they performed year to date over the last month, where the current yield sector-wise there. So maybe something you want to check out. That's all I have for you in terms of marketing. That is $13 a month if you want to join. And I've got a video coming up there for you as well. Let's go to the sector breakdown and take a look at what we got today. All right, healthcare, one of the better performers. By the way, on the right-hand side of your screen, you can see what's going on there, but healthcare was one of the better performers. You got United Healthcare off the 200-day. Looking at that one, love it. Abbott Healthcare, or Abbott Lab, I should say, up 3.5% on the day, was one of the big contributors today. And then Pfizer had a good day as well, up 1.5%, mentioned in the debate last night. The sector is up 5% year to date. That puts it in 5th place at the moment if you're looking at the healthcare stocks. Financials got a little bit of a boost today. 1.33% gain on the day. Was a broad rally. I believe every single stock in the sector was higher today. I want to point out Ameriprise, hinting at maybe a little bit of a breakout. It's a watch list type stock. It is not quite back to those highs just yet, but you got to be choosy in the financials. Financials as a whole have really struggled here, but not every stock has struggled in the sector. Not a sector here, but one of the industries, home builders. We keep teasing that one. It's headed back to the highs there, hinting at a breakout. Hopefully it happens. Lennar was the one we've been talking about over the last couple days. Did finally break out. You got MI Homes as well, hinting at a breakout. We happen to own that one, so we're hoping that one does break out. Pending home sales came out today, 8.8% higher versus an expectation of 3.3. That's 4 straight months in a row of growth in existing home sales. On fire. If you go in the research site, we actually listed how the housing market's doing, gave you some stats on that, and then we went through individual stocks that could benefit from a continuing growth in the home building area, stocks that are supported by that. So if you just don't know what to look for, there's a list in there in the research site for you to dig through. That is that. It wasn't really a sector. So let's go back to sectors here. You got consumer staples higher on the day, 1.2%. One of the stronger sectors today as well. Walmart waking up in that space, looking pretty good there. They got some news out today. Pepsi a little bit higher, although it's been kind of sleepy lately. Coca-Cola now up 1% on the day. But anyways, Pepsi continues to move back to the top high end of the range there. You also had General Mills, great recovery today. We happen to own this one, so a 3% gain for us. Happy on that, back to the 50-day moving average. And then Costco is almost back to new highs. Not bad there. Costco has just been really, really strong, so obviously exciting to see that. McCormick, 2% gain, recovering almost all of its earnings move from yesterday. So we'll call it an earnings reversal so far, but it's not perfect. Going on to oil, you got a small gain in the price of oil. You got the stockpiles. Crude oil inventories come out on Wednesday of each week, or most weeks. And the drawdown was about 2 million barrels there, which was more than we saw last week. So the continued drawdown means less supply. Less supply means, at least if there's some demand, you got higher prices. So that is the price of oil. If you look at gold, gold had a small loss on the day and down just over 4% on the month as gold continues to pull back. I know a lot of you have been waiting for gold to pull back, so well, I hope it continues to pull back for you, you know. Moving on to new highs, new lows for the day. What do we have? 13 new highs is what the little ticker shows there. I'm going to point out a few here because these are all the same ones. I like consistency, whether it's in stock performance, our fun performance, doing videos for you every day, but I also like consistency in terms of talking about stocks ahead of time. I like to just keep pointing out what you see, and then as it happens, whether you participate or not, you got to learn from it. We've been pointing out Fortune Brands and all the names I'm about to mention. This is a breakout in that category and looking good. Lennar is the breakout we've been talking about quite a few times, looking good. Whirlpool has been at our list here for a while, new highs list. Trying to break out. It touched it. It got up there today, didn't quite get things going. We'll see what happens. Perkin Miller up to breaking out here. That's the one from the other day. Continues to show the strength. Remember, yesterday's comments were, it was okay. It broke out. It was doing its thing. You want to see it follow through, volume to increase. Well, that happened today. If you look at the bottom, you can see the volume increasing. So all the breakout traders coming over to this stock saying, I don't know. I don't normally trade this stock, but it's breaking out and I'm interested in the breakout. Danaher, also the breakout there. This is one we've pointed out numerous times as it hints at those highs. Volume a little bit higher. It's going to be skewed. You have to expand your volume charts there because of what happened back over here. It's not really accurate at the moment. But anyways, it's a breakout there above the 50-day moving average and to new 52-week highs. There were a handful of other good stocks on the list today, and I believe all but like 3 of them finished positive. So not too bad there. We'll go over to our watch list here today because we're going to do something a little bit different. Hey, question came up. Where can I look while everyone's looking at cruise lines? So someone asked me, I get it, cruise lines are doing well, or not doing well, but they're doing poorly, they're discounted, I want to participate, but is there anywhere else that's been beaten down that maybe would recover with the economy recovering and everything? And they thought restaurants. So we said, well, we're going to make a post on this in the research site. So we're putting together a whole long research post for you. But I said, well, maybe you could take it a step further. You've got your restaurant stocks, but there are also stocks that support the restaurants, meaning they bring them the ovens, they bring them the food, they maybe bring them the tables and things like that. It could be food or supply distribution. So maybe we go a step further and look at that. And the person said, I don't even know what companies are out there. And I said, well, we'll make it a watch list for you and we'll go through some of those there. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to look at restaurant suppliers and we're going to look at restaurant food distributions companies. You're probably going to know a couple of them here. So let's dive into it. We're going to start here with the restaurant equipment suppliers here. So if you look at Middleby, our little thing went blank again. It is doing that, isn't it? That is crazy. It'll be back. Don't worry about it. There it goes. So this is the company you guys would probably know, all you fancy people out there. One of their brands is Viking. You know, the Viking stove, and everybody's got to have the Viking stove or whatever. So anyways, this is one of the things that they do. They do other high-end residential products as well as commercial products for retail kitchens. They're all really big into trying to market themselves for the new ghost kitchens, by the way. So if you happen to be looking through and trying to learn about some of these, you're probably going to find the word ghost kitchen a lot. And what that means is basically you've got Chipotle and all these companies like Five Guys and whatnot. Instead of opening more locations and then delivering from those locations, they're opening up ghost kitchens, which are just kitchens in a warehouse facility where they can cook Chipotle, they could cook Five Guys, they could cook BurgerFi or whatever it is, and then have Uber and them deliver from wherever that is. So you're going to see a lot of that in the space. I think it's rather cool what they're trying to do there. Anyways, down 25% year to date there, year over year, I should say. That's one of them. Now we're going to look, there's only one other one there. There's a couple, but we're going to focus on 2 here for just our watch list. You got Welbilt, obviously well beaten down on the year there. Revenue down 51% year over year. It's obviously beaten down. I'll come back to performance in just a second. I want to go through some of these here. You got wholesale distributors. It could be food. You're going to recognize some of them. I'll start with the biggest one there. You got Sysco. You've seen the trucks. They drive around. There's food in those refrigerated trucks. They pull up to Chili's. They pull up to Applebee's. They pull up to government establishments. They don't just deliver to restaurants. They deliver everywhere there. It is the biggest in terms of market cap overall. Sales down 43%. And I tried to find how they break down their segmentation, meaning for like churches and schools versus restaurants, because obviously some of those areas wouldn't have the biggest impact. Restaurants have been impacted as much. I couldn't find it. So if you want to dig that up or if someone wants to share that with us, I want to see how much their sales are down in just the restaurant space. So because they're more diverse and of course they're larger, have more cash on the books there, this stock hasn't performed as poorly. You probably recognize U.S. Food. It's kind of got a square-looking logo with U.S. and then food below it there. I just recognize the trucks. Up a little bit on the day today. It's the second biggest, 30% in terms of sales being down. So if we're looking to see the ones that have been beaten down because maybe you want to start to look at those as they start to recover there. So I'm trying to point that out. Anyways, Moving on here, Performance Food Group. You've probably seen these or recognized these guys as well. This actually ties for a close third in terms of being the largest overall. The stock's recovering nicely. They're also a little bit more diverse, meaning they don't just cater straight to restaurants and things like that, so you may want to look them up there. And then lastly, we'll take a look at Chef's Warehouse. It's going to be a supply company and food distribution company as well. If we look at them, obviously beaten down, almost all the charts kind of look the same there. Sales down 51% overall. Now, let's take a look at the performance of these stocks, just in case you come back to them and say, maybe I'm interested here. So you got them in sort of three different groups here. You've got Sysco in the mix, you got Middleby in the mix there as well. And then the pink one is Performance Food Groups. Those are down the least, only down 20-ish% year to date. Hard to kind of justify that given the fact that restaurants are still struggling to open fully across the country, really. So you maybe feel like these guys have a little bit more room to be sort of weaker there. Maybe Sysco stands out because their sales are broken out over many different segments there, which aren't all hurting at the moment. Your weakest on the downside there, you're going to have Well-Built down there all the way at the bottom, and the Chef's Warehouse down 60% total. Obviously those are really beaten down. Maybe something you want to wait to see recover a little bit, get some better restaurant data out there for you, and then come back to these names. The point of today's watch list was just to maybe introduce you to a few stocks that you probably don't look at every day because they don't start with Tesla, and maybe that would help you out there, or something you want to take a look at going forward. If you want to look at one other one, I don't know why it's not, well, we didn't have any room to put it on our list today. Core-Mark is another one. I'll go over to that one. So Core-Mark is a little bit different. They don't really supply to restaurants. You've probably seen their logo if you go into like a 7-Eleven, you try to get a sandwich. That's where you're going to find that name there. So this one performing a little bit better, but I didn't put it on our main list just because we ran out of space overall. But that's our watch list for the day. Different way to take a look at things, and maybe something to consider going forward. Yeah, that is our watch list for the day. Okay, moving on over to stocks in the news, and then I'll take your questions. If you happen to have any questions, I'll try. You got Duke Energy. Nextera is offering to buy out. They got a bid from them. Volume was higher today. Stock was up 7.5%. Yet another one of our power companies is going to change names and the whole process. Such a mess. That's our power company here. They're always changing. So frustrating. But anyways, that's what's going on there. Disney down just a touch on the day. They're laying off 28,000 parks employees and sort of their entertainment division there. Found it interesting is 28,000. There's 32,000 people that work for Disneyland, which is still closed. And so probably going to be a lot of people over there because California says, no, you can't open. Sherwin-Williams just off of highs there. Not looking too bad there. They said sales for the third quarter are ahead of forecasts there. So they're kind of giving you a little bit of a heads up, but I think it's already kind of priced in. So that's why you saw a little bit of that today. Micron, which was up higher after reporting earnings after hours yesterday, they beat on earnings, but when it came down to it, they lowered their guidance. And you already know that this last earnings season, lowering guidance means lower stock prices. That's the sort of nail in the coffin from what we've seen. Lowe's, chopping around at highs there, looking pretty good there. They're going to restart their share buyback programs. Yet another company that says, all right, coast is clear, spend money on buying back shares versus we're worried that we may have to close stores and things like that, just doesn't exist for them. So they're going to start buying back shares. I forget how many they had, but it's to the tune of the hundreds of millions that they're still left over because they just got started, I believe, before the virus hit there. Also, real quick, you probably noticed the cruise lines just a touch higher on the day. They did fade away towards the end of the day. They were doing better. CDC said that they're going to they don't want them cruising for the rest of the year and into next year. Norwegian Cruise Lines as well as trying to type up 3%. And the White House came out and said, we're going to overturn that. Cruise lines, come meet with us by the end of the week. Let's talk at the White House, and we'll probably let you get sailing by November. Full-on protests down here in Florida at the ports because people want to go on their cruise, and they don't understand why they can't go on the cruise. Employees are protesting, I mean, peacefully, I would say. But yeah, it's getting bigger and bigger down here. They don't really show that on TV. Those are your stocks in the news. Tomorrow we got Bed Bath & Beyond reporting earnings. You got Carnival Cruise. Remember, we got to visit that. We gave you the stats on that one there. ConAgra, Constellation Brands, and Pepsi. As far as dividends coming out, 45 cents from Bristol Myers. Cisco, hey, we just talked about that, 45 cents. Cisco, the other Cisco, the tech company, 36 cents. Rheingold, 28 cents. And Fitboy, 27 cents, which is, Fifth Third Bank is what we say there. Okay, I'll take your questions if you happen to have any. Let's see what we can do and call this sucker a day. I love it. Elon Musk didn't like his stock price high. Yeah, we've shared that. I saved that chart so the next time he says it, we can bring it back up. We actually plotted that in the past, how his stock performs when he actually says the stock price is too high going forward. So we'll keep up with that on that one there. Yep. I love it. You ate at P.F. Chang once. Oh, me too. I've only eaten there once. We were on vacation. We just picked it, and I wasn't impressed either. It wasn't bad. Just didn't really like it. Yeah. I love it. Yeah, that's true. Instant COVID test there. We'll see what happens for them. But we should know more on that by the end of the week with the White House meeting. Also, did we get anything about Boeing? Regulators went on the 737 MAX flight today, but they said more work was needed to recertify the jet. All right, so they did come out and say that. Not good news for Boeing, but that would be the latest news for you there. Yep. Yikes. Looking at comments on Nordstrom. Working on bankruptcy, are they not? They looked at 2000, or going private, I should say. Always strong coming out of a recession. This time could be different. You might want to read up on what's going on with Nordstrom. Yep. I love it. You bought, green energy. It's getting more and more popular. I'll give you that. I would say, real quick though, if you're up 250%, the stock is up, sitting at highs at the moment. What's the plan, man? What's it going to do? On 250%, I hope you're taking at least some profit there. Come on, man. Yeah, likes Panda Express better than P.F. Chang. I bet they wouldn't like to see that. HSA investment options for, what do you mean? What's California, New Jersey? So you can have an HSA. You can put anything you want in there. Some companies may limit investment choices, but I think most of them these days are saying, we can just put whatever you want in there. So there's probably no limits. I'm not sure what you've looked into there, but I don't know. Are front-loaded funds worth it? So there's a couple different kinds. If you're thinking about paying for a front-loaded mutual fund and there's no management fee going ahead, that's how they used to be, then that could make sense. Sadly, most of them are large front loads, and then they have quite sizable management fees going forward. So in that case, it would be very tough to justify those. Yep, I love it. I love it, I love it, I love it. Yeah, trading plan is the key there. I will admit that. Is it true that historically the stock market does better under Democrats than Republicans? Yeah, actually the stock market does well under both. I mean, the stock market's sort of in the long run always goes higher, but there's Democrats see better gains than Republicans do. So although both do see gains, technically the Democrats win if you're looking back and break that down. We did that class a while back where I actually showed every single Democrat, every single Republican before their election, whether they were the incumbent, whether it was a new president and they switched from Republican to Democrat. We did it in a Wine and Wealth, so I actually went through every single one of them to show that, versus just saying broadly like, yay, Democrats do well or Republicans do well. We actually broke all the different stats down there for you. Yep. Is there a way to check if the transaction violates the wash sale rule? I.e., can you sell CVS and Walgreens? Is there a way to check? Most of the larger platforms, your TD Ameritrades, things like that, they will have that ability for you to match that in there and see. Robinhood won't have it. All of the sort of mobile app trading ones, they won't have that there. Look, if you have a bigger platform, TradeStation or Schwab or whatever it may be, yes, it should be in there where you can plot symbols and ETFs next to each other to see where wash sale may trigger. Yep, I like it. I like it. All right, I'm going to wrap it up there. I hope you guys enjoyed today. Hope I helped you in some way. If I did, I hope you'll check us out at jazzwealth.com. We appreciate all the people that have done that. We're a small company, I get it, but we're out here to help. We're out here to teach and show you that we're actually working for you. We like to do the work for you. Enjoy the rest of your day, and we'll be back tomorrow to do this all over again. See ya.